Good morning, World Wide Web. Welcome back to my stock channel. This is James, your favorite ticker picker. We're going to take another look at another Bitcoin mining computer company. This one's called Canaan or Canaan Inc. Uh, they're located in China. I'm a little bit riveted by this industry because if Bitcoin isn't worth $60,000, all the computers are almost rendered useless because you plug them in and they use 12 to $14 a month in electricity every month, and they produce $4 worth of Bitcoin. So just the act of plugging it in causes you to lose money. The more you plug in, the more money you lose. When power was a little bit cheaper and Bitcoin was at $60,000 a Bitcoin, they were able to get about $12 a month per computer, and they might be able to spend $9 or $10 a month in power to do so. So they could actually make a profit just by plugging these things in. So what people did was they ran out like crazy and they bought more and more computers. If you wanted one, you soon wanted two, and then you wanted more, and then the price of Bitcoin, if that would have doubled, from 60 to 120, you're thinking, oh gosh, I might really be onto something here. So not only were they Bitcoin fanatics expecting it to go to 120,000, but they're also making actual money from plugging them in. So they were looking at it like a win-win situation, but sadly it wasn't. People bought 2, 10, 100, 1,000 of these computers. The whole thing went crazy. Bitcoin's back down to 20 something thousand. It's now only generating $4 a month in Bitcoin when it used to generate 12. So your power bill is now $14 because of inflation, the higher fuel prices. So now it's not worth plugging in a computer, and nobody will buy one. And anyone who did is probably regretting it. There is a club of free power people out there that get free power from windmills, maybe if you already have one, or so there will be a market for these boxes. But I want you to take a look at the company and what it's kind of gone through so far real quick. First of all, there's a 1-year chart on Canaan. Oh, I'm sorry, there's a 5-year chart on Canaan. They actually started in 2020. You see they started out on the chart going down, down, down from their beginning. And then all of a sudden, plugging in a Bitcoin computer became worth it because it was worth plugging in because you could make positive money. And maybe if you're a Bitcoin optimist, more Bitcoin for the future growth of that. So then Bitcoin prices fell down and the need for the computer fell down. Right around here, it was clearly not worth plugging in. And then it just took a huge plummet, huge plummet. Every time it went up here, maybe Bitcoin went up a little bit and everybody got optimistic. Oh, we're coming back to 60,000. No, you're not. And then all the way to the last year, now we're on this one. They're all telling the same story, and that's why I'm fascinated by it. $2.73 a share for a stock of a product that will earn its buyer like negative $10 a month if they plug it in. It's basically an electric juice strainer. You might as well plug in a 1970s stereo system and not have speakers and just turn it on and leave it on. It's kind of like doing that. It's basically a little specialty computer that you hook up to your Wi-Fi, and it allows you to earn the Bitcoin every month. So we're gonna just look at a few of these companies. This particular one looks exactly like the last video I just did. Please check it out. But they all tell the same story. The story is if they're going to be a very small company soon. Um, and the size of their company is going to be the free power people or stupid businessman people, like, people that think, oh, I can make money doing this. And they don't even think of the power. Uh, so you will have that crowd, or ones that are, using their brother-in-law's power and they want to stick one in their bedroom because he doesn't pay the power bill. You might still get that guy. So they're still going to get that guy. They're still going to get the bad businessman. They're going to get the, sticking it on somebody else. And then they're going to get the free power people, and maybe buying a couple of boxes. They won't be running crazy and buying hundreds of them. Not at these prices. I don't think $4 a month even warrants buying a box because you can get better interest on just about anything than that. This is their income statement annually. Um, Actually, this is pretty impressive. There's hardly a collapse from 2021 to 2022. This company sells the mining computer, and they sell the mining computer parts to other companies. Um, Revenue of 5 billion down to 4.38 billion year over year. If you look at it quarterly, you'll notice it's coming down from 2 billion a quarter to 1.36. It'll come back to 1.65, 978 million, 391 million. So they're right now, I guess they're on track to be a $1.6 billion company every year as it stands right now, if this trend doesn't continue, which this is the price of Bitcoin crumbling. So if it stays crumbled in the 20s, let's just say, and I don't think there was any motivation anywhere. This was all losing money. These people were still just speculating, getting their hands on some Bitcoin. They were probably buying it anyhow, and instead of using that money, they decided to buy a computer, which turned out to be a dumb idea. But the revenue, 1.6 billion. Let's just pretend they're tracking that right now. That would be down from 5 billion. So from 5 billion a year to 1.6 year over year. That's their track. So they've cut themselves down by 80% of their revenue is gone already. This is the specialty user. This is the guy buying one or two, or just the crazy person. Um, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain this quarter sales. You would have to be incredibly optimistic about Bitcoin to do this. So I guess this is heavily based on optimism too. Just the fact that they were able to collect $400 in money worldwide from people that just lose money on it. The solar panels have a cost. They have an interest payment, possibly. They windmill out a cost. The land. Maybe if you own your own steam engine or something, you might be able to shovel wood into this thing all day long, or coal, and keep it alive out in the hills of West Virginia. I have no idea. There's going to be a lot of people that do stuff like that. And for that reason, there will be a floor on this thing. And I don't know where the floor is, but obviously we're screaming towards it. It's going to be the people that get absolutely free power. But then you have to beg to ask the question, is it even worth buying the computer to get the $4 a month? Like, should I spend $500 or $1,000 on this computer, let's just say, if it's going to generate me $4 a month? That's about 8% interest. I think you can do better on AT&T stock right now. So I even see it not worth even buying the thing. Even if everyone got free power, it's not worth buying the thing. So that's my argument for that. Let's see how healthy this company is. See how long they can survive. Their annual balance sheet. This is right when they probably took all their monies and their big years and started buying assets. That's nice to see. They've probably made some serious money here. They turned a profit on paper on their income statements. Look at that. This one here is still a profitable company. Well, they're probably not anymore. Now they're losing 500 million a quarter. So, dang, they were profitable right up through September. Like I said, they're selling the parts to the other companies too. So they kind of have one step up in the industry from the manufacturer also. Let's see how much money they have. I'm getting kind of interested here. They still have a ton in stock. They still have a ton of inventory, and they are paying off their debt, it should be noted. So that's a good sign. Man, this thing has $707 million in cash. Ooh, they can do one more time what they just did last quarter. And they will still have, it's going to get twice as bad though. It's going to go from, this went from 978 million for the quarter to it more than halved itself in the quarter. If it halves itself again, they're going to lose 600 million for the quarter, probably 400 million. Yeah, they're finished on their next earnings report. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say finished. I meant it's going to collapse really, really hard, and they're not going to have any cash left. Um, that's clearly what that indicates. They do have a ton of stuff in stock. I guess they can't plug it in unless they want to lose money. Even as a manufacturer that sells to manufacturers, the components, um, they still can't just plug them in themselves and make money. And I find that hysterical. Why would you sell me this thing and have me pay double what you made it for? And when you can't just plug it in for yourself at what you paid for it and make money. So it's kind of a self-telling tale. You haven't heard any news, oh, we decided to plug all of our units in. Oh, really? What happened? We lost money. Really? That's funny. But all of these companies, in my prediction, and if you think like me that Bitcoin's not going back to $60,000, these are all going either somewhere very small or somewhere very diluted. They're going to have to dilute this thing shortly if they lose money like they just got done losing. Right now, they have 166 million shares outstanding. They could cut that or double that. They could just issue another 166, and they could generate. How much can they generate? Well, they're going to cut this in half, so it's going to be worth about $1.56 after they do that. And they'll probably be able to get a little bit over $1 a share. And they'll be able to get $1 a share times, what did that say it was? $1 a share times $166 million. So yeah, they're going to cut this thing in half. They're going to redilute it. They're going to raise another $166 million. And they are probably going to carry and drag this sucker through. Or they can use their credit cards to suck it, but they just got done paying them off. I think they're trying to become a smaller company. I think they've acknowledged what it is, and they're saying, you know what, let's just get small. These people might be smarter than I give them credit for. A lot of the other Bitcoin mining companies the yellow line's jumping right around here because they're like buying more computers still, like a bunch of morons. I think these people acknowledge the fact that this is going to be a shit tiny industry, and they're trying to get the debt down now to accommodate for it. Compare that with Bed Bath & Beyond, who's doing the opposite. But yeah, I think they're trying to get this reasonable. Liabilities $462 million. It's still more than your revenue that you're tracking right now. This debt is more than the revenue that they're tracking annually. So yeah, they're going to need to chop this down like this quarter, and with what though? With the 166 million that they raise, probably that's probably where that'll have to go if they want to position themselves to be a smaller company, because they're going to be smaller than they are today. Tracking 1.6 billion a year, they're going to be probably half that size on the next earnings, which probably is any day now. Let me find out exactly. We're looking at May 18th or May 19th for the earnings report. I believe this is in a foreign country and not going to be in the United States. Yeah, China. They only have to report every 6 months in many cases. So that's why it's taken since December for us to get an earnings report. These are broken into 3-month charts somehow. I guess they're doing it both ways for us on Google Finance. It looks like a report comes out every quarter. Let me look at the dates on these reports. So we can get an accurate measure as to, we got March to June, April, May, June. Oh, these are 3 months. These are all 3-month gaps. So when I said they sold half as many in 3 months, I was right. Yeah, in 3 months, it loses half of itself. So if they only have to report every 2 quarters, what did they do in the 6-month period? Well, they went from 1.65 billion in sales for the quarter to they lost, to 25% of that, to 391 million from 1.65. So yeah, maybe this 391 turns into a 100. Maybe that's what that track is, this losing bang. Now, the prices of Bitcoin went up last week as everybody drained the United States banking system. They decided to throw a little money in Bitcoin. I don't know why. Could it restart Bitcoin? I don't know. I don't think so. I think it did. clearly. That did happen, and it went up to about 25,000. Shocked the world. Is it going back to, is that little panic over? Probably. If all of the banks fold, maybe everybody runs to Bitcoin and this thing's become the hottest things in the world again. And then the countries make new money and then stabilize, and your power bill goes up, and then these things become not worth it again. So it's a short, probably no-brainer, I would think, unless you, well, it's going to be a smaller company. They're within 3 or 4 months, they're going to be forced to dilute themselves. This price is going to go from 273 to 230 something. And on that earnings report, on top of that dilution, it's also going to collapse because of the huge loss. They're going to go from 400 million a quarter in revenue down to 100 something for the quarter in revenue at the pace that they're flying at. This is a 6 months report. This isn't just a 3-month report. This is a 6-month report coming out. I guess it'll be broken into the 3-month partitions for our viewing pleasure, but this will be their first words uttered out of their mouth in 6 months. So very exciting. Could they possibly have done better? No. Bitcoin's at $20,000. Now it did pucker up. This stock probably in the last week, and I'll bet you Friday, went up. No, it didn't, because Bitcoin went up. And a lot of these stocks that have to do with Bitcoin are included in many of the ETFs and such, and some people buy them thinking they're buying Bitcoin stuff, and they're just buying unprofitable Bitcoin stuff. For the month down, for 6 months, 12%, for the year, 53%, for 5 years, 69%. I like the 1-year chart to see what the relevant scene looks like, 53%. This one's outperforming the other ones. The other ones are doing worse than this. These people seem to have, well, I mean, their income's absolutely falling off a cliff, but it is more delayed than the other ones. The other ones' cliff came earlier than these people's cliff. So somehow these people have these other Bitcoin companies are buying from this Bitcoin parts maker, mining equipment, computer parts maker. So I think that they're sustaining sales a little bit better than the other guys, but I don't think the other guys are going to be able to pay their bills, number one. So a lot of the money, that everything on terms, they can just forget about as they collapse. Is probably going to be another catalyst to the end of this one, I would imagine. But yeah, May, put it in your calendar, May 18th. And right before then, I had some put options on this thing. Are you kidding me? This thing is going to be it's going to be an announcement that says, hi, we're going to dilute, or we just did dilute. It'll be like an after the fact, like it's already done. And it's going to be a dilute / crash all in the same day. It's going to go into the under $1. It's got to. I'd say by that date, so May. We'll do another video. Keep everybody posted. I'll make sure you do not miss this earnings call. It should be epic. And we should see the obvious, which is a product that loses money when you plug it in. Thank you so much for watching my video. I'm going to do some more of these Bitcoin videos. I've made 2 of them already. Check out the other one. I am going to make them much, much shorter from now on, since I don't have to explain the industry. Please refer back to my other videos if you want to catch up on the industry. Thank you very much. Please subscribe to my channel and have a wonderful day.